cleaner right here, some mean green. We're gonna go ahead and spray everything down, try not to get it inside the cylinders or anything like that. Try to get a lot of this grease and stuff cleaned off. So if you guys are wondering, this is a 87 non-turbo Supra that's had a full turbo swap in it. So it's got the 7M GTE, the R154 transmission. I'm not 100% sure if they've changed the rear end or not. I've actually got to jack it up and check the gear ratio and see what I believe it is. Could be anywhere from like I believe it's like a 373 to a 411, which I think they came on turbo and non-turbo models. So I don't really think it's a 411. I think it's probably closer to the 373, but it is an LSD. I just did a service on the rear end, got it all cleaned up, put fresh fluid in it and stuff. This engine itself really doesn't have many miles on it with this build. I just rebuilt it back in 2015, I think. 15 or 16 I rebuilt it. Tore it completely down, had a spun rod. So I tore it down, replaced the rod, put new bearings, I had to replace the crank. Come to find out, I didn't know the car was actually built when I bought it. When I bought it, it had Eagle rods, Wiseco pistons. It's been bored out 20,000 silver. It's got it's running NA compression 9:1 instead of 8.5:1, I believe. The factory turbo engine. But it is a factory turbo engine. There are Oriole squirters. It does have the feed and drain lines for the turbo and everything. It's not a 7M GE turbo. It's actually GTE. The guy I bought it from said it had head work done, so he didn't even know what he really had, I guess, because just those pistons and rods alone are about $1,300 or so. And then the machine work to bore it and do everything else they did. But yeah, as I said, had to put a different crank in it. It's got basically NA pistons bored out, stronger rods, ARP main studs, ARP head studs, had a Titan MLS head gasket. I think this time I'm going to go with a HKS stopper. I was told they're just a little bit better for holding boost. And if I'm going to be up there in boost, I just want something to hold this time. I believe the one that was on it probably would have held, but I was running about 30 pounds, I believe, somewhere around there, maybe 28, and hot lapped it. I ran a pass, came back around and ran another pass, and it probably wasn't the best idea. I probably should have let it cool down. And it just pushed right through, cylinder wall to coolant jacket, and started smoking like crazy. Still ran fine. Got the head off. Bought a straight edge that's supposed to be within spec of like 1/1000th of an inch or something like that. Which, when I took my smallest feeler gauge, which was 0.0018, I couldn't get it to go under at any point of the block or the head. So everything's still pretty much true like it's supposed to be. So I'm just gonna order HKS, throw it on there, and we'll start racing it again. Waiting for money to come in. It's pretty much what's been holding up everything. I've actually got no editing software at all. I have to edit my videos on my phone and put them together, so forgive me if this video is going to be total crap. It probably won't be the best, but I wanted to get something out there, and I made a crappy little intro, which no one's probably going to like, but I really don't give a shit, because that's all I've got. That's all I can do until I start getting some money saved up. Wife just had a baby, just bought a house. I was the only one working, so everything I made had to go towards bills. But she's back at work, income tax is coming in, so hopefully we'll be able to do some crazy builds. I got plans on slapping this back together for now. I don't think I'm going to do any super big mods at this point. It's got a bunch done. I mean, it's got a bigger aluminum intercooler, bigger radiator, CT26, or not CT26. It's got a 62 precision, but it's still running the CT26 flange. It's from Sound Performance. It's like a direct bolt-up performance upgrade. I'm hoping it should make like 600 horse on pump gas. I've talked to some people and they said I was stupid for what I was doing, running that much boost on pump gas. And I'm not a tuner, I don't have a dyno. I just plugged numbers in and it went fast, so I put more boost to it and it went faster. I checked my AFRs, AFRs were good. Honestly, I don't have knock sensors at the moment. For some reason, the factory ones just weren't reading it all. They weren't sending any sort of signal. So I'm having to rewire knock sensors in. I'm going to go with better Bosch ones instead of the shitty factory ones. But yeah, I'm just trying to get all this oil and stuff cleaned up. That when I go back together, it's not as bad. But it's honestly hard to get in some of these spots. And I don't want to tear it down because I don't want to have to put all new gaskets or seals or anything like that. I want to try to make this a cheap put back together. That way I can get on other projects. I want to build my SRT4 Neon. I've already got the idea of what I'm going to go with. Hopefully about $3 grand. I should be able to get that all built. Hopefully make about 500 horse out of that. And then hopefully, if everything goes good, you guys like my videos, and I can actually start bringing in some money, and getting, I don't know, maybe sponsors or something like that. Who knows? I've got an S10 out there, and I got a couple 5.3s, and I got a massive turbo. So, hopefully see if we can make about a 1,500 horsepower S10, and go drag with it. Yeah, just trying to get all this stuff cleaned up. I probably won't work on it too much, just because I got so much else I got to do. I just wanted to try to get a lot of this grease all cleaned up. I mean, everything looks pretty good. I was really surprised with how clean the pistons were when I took it all apart. I mean, they weren't bad at all, which, like I said, I haven't had many miles put on this build, mainly because I've done so much modification to it. It took so long to get money saved up to do everything. It's really just sat. I dailied it for the longest time. Got rid of it. Traded it for a Honda Prelude. So I got in trouble for street racing. And then the Prelude, I couldn't do a slow car. It was just annoying. So I traded it for a fully built Fox body. I raced it for a little while. And then one day I was like, I want another Supra. So I put a post up, said, hey, I'm looking for another MK3 Supra. And the dude I traded it to said, hey, I sold your old one to this guy and he might be willing to sell it. I got in touch with him. He was like, I can't get it running. I don't know what's going on. I was like, hell yeah, time to get this thing cheap. Paid $1,800 for it the second time. Got it home. Ended up being the plug wires for the coils. Pushed in the wires, got everything connected like it's supposed to, fired it up the next day, started driving around again, and then went downhill from there. Bigger turbo. Took a while to get that in, get it all done and ready, and then the computer, trying to get the computer all figured out. That was annoying. I couldn't get that done. And then finally got hooked up with some good stuff. And now it runs like it's supposed to. So I do plan on going to E85, hopefully by the end of the year, if everything goes good. But we'll just have to play it by ear, see what happens, see if everything goes like it's supposed to. I do plan on doing E85 on the Neon, which it will be a lot easier because from what I've read, everything can support ethanol. The fuel tank, the lines, the fuel rails. From what I've read, I'll have to do more research, but everything's supposed to be able to support E85. So all I really need is injectors, pumps, and a tune, and then we'll start playing with that thing. I'm really starting to get tired of doing this. I think I'm about done with this. But yeah, this is my Supra. This is the head. Everything looks real good. You can see from where it got machined last time. This is actually a 7M GE head because the GT head, or the GTE head, had cracks all around the valves and stuff like that. And it was a garbage head. I ran it with a blown head gasket and cracked for about a good year and a half before I spun that rod bearing. Made killer power, tore it down, figured out it was messed up. Ended up buying a 7M GE for about $100. Stole the crank and the head off of it, scrapped the rest. Right now I'm getting the upper intake, the compressor housing, the valve covers. I'm getting all that hydro dipped. Just hopefully make everything prettier inside the engine bay because it's pretty much a mess. Got a factory harness that's not bad. I bought it from some guy off Facebook, I believe. Sent it to me. I had to send him my harness because he wanted some plugs off of it, and I didn't want this one cut. But everything's pretty good on it. As of right now, the interior is pretty much stripped. There's really nothing in it. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. But there's a driver's seat. That's it. Still doing some body work. Someone put a goofy spoiler on it, getting rid of that. When I painted the car blue, back in like 2015 or 14 or something like that, I got rid of the antenna hole, I got rid of the keyhole, I got rid of the rear wiper hole, just got rid of it all because I really don't use any of it. And then it had these little crappy wing mounts. I'm getting rid of those right now. Once I get all that done, fixing some little spots right here, get all that done, I'm going to repaint the whole thing blue. And then over here I've got some pearls that hopefully I plan on putting in the paint. But I don't know if you guys can see that or not. It's a nice white pearl with a nice blue sheen to it. Interference blue. But we'll throw that in the paint, see what happens. If it looks like crap, oh well. It's not a show car, it's a go fast car. That's more what I'm about. I don't care about fancy wheels, fancy paint, carbon fiber this, carbon fiber that. I just want to make a bunch of power and go fast. It's basically my goals. But that's all I got for the Supra. I'll probably just cut this video short. I don't really have much to do because, like I said, I don't have money to buy the parts that I need to fix everything. Once I get the money in, start working on this thing, start hammering down, and hopefully get to racing. Hopefully drag a couple people, take them out to Gapplebees. But that's going to be it. See you guys later.